Okay, yeah, just let me know. We got our mics hot. Are we on?
Yeah, mics are hot.
Okay.
And we're on.
I see us. Jojo. Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to the show before the show. Got some people jumping in right now. We'll kick start at about 8 o'clock here. Lizzie's here, Vic's here. Megan did a great job yesterday.
She's fabulous.
I've had to be away for 4 or 5 straight weeks now, 1 day a week doing that other job.
Yeah, Megan was great. Very knowledgeable. You know what? If you like coffee, she brings it into you too. I mean,
Did she bring Scooters in again?
Yeah, she did. She did.
Need to drive down to Scooters. Listen.
Yeah.
Scooter Studio, baby.
Uh-huh. Really, yeah. She brings it in every day.
Good morning, Michelle, Dawn, Kimberly, Elizabeth, Trisha, Karen with a K. For getting ready to rock and roll. Thanks for liking, subscribing, sharing the show as always, everybody.
You know, I'm getting a lot of feedback about us being on the Anthony Rogers show.
Really? Where? I haven't heard anything.
Well, to me, like people are like I want to say 7 or 8 people yesterday, and then the day before, a friend of mine who does know goes, "Oh my gosh, I didn't know you guys were on the Anthony Rogers show." And he goes, "I like it. I just didn't happen to listen to it." And then he's like, "Me and my wife were peeing in our pants laughing."
I bet they were.
Mm-hmm. And somebody goes, "Is Vic really that nice? Because Lizzie, you're kind of mean to him."
No, you're not.
I said, "I'm really not. It's just that I can jab him and he takes it."
I don't think you jab me that much at all.
Yeah, it's because when I called you those names, when you said about Big Vic and, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, "I can't believe you talked to Vic Faust like that." I said, "It's fun."
Hey, Joe, how many guys you know are going to be upset if a woman's calling them Big Dick Vic?
Yep. Big
Joe's not ready for us.
Big bro Joe.
What happened? I'm sorry.
Never mind.
Okay.
Now, somebody just said I'm mean to Vic.
No.
Because I call him, you know, those names.
Yeah, I could think of some more horrible names to call somebody than Big Dick Vic.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I think she's putting a feather in my cap.
Right.
I love Nancy. When she comes on, she makes the coolest emojis because I'm such an emoji person. And you know what kind of weather it is outside by her emojis and what the holidays are, and that she likes Jesus and that she's looking with her eyes and she's drinking coffee. And just think several years ago, I didn't even know what emojis were and my kids made fun of me.
That's good stuff.
So a sneaky nugget 22 said that's how I found out about this podcast.
What about us the other night?
Yeah. So Sneaky Nugget.
Hey, thanks for checking us out, guys. Sneaky Nugget.
Yep. Sneaky Nugget. I like that name. Apparently watches Anthony Rogers. And that's how they found out about this podcast, because we were on with Anthony, or it could be maybe that Anthony was on with us. I'm not sure. He's really funny. I've listened to him for a while. He just makes me laugh.
Why can't I share the show? Oh, I guess I have to wait.
You don't have to wait to share it. You can share it right now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we had Andrew Bailey, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey is going to be joining us. We're going to be talking about the Media Matters investigation and his lawsuit into WashU.
Love that.
Yeah, he was on with Tucker Carlson and Benny Johnson. I really like what Benny does. A lot of work there.
Yeah.
Social media wise, podcast wise, but Andrew's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he's kind of a big deal. He's a
big deal.
Yeah, he is.
So is we'll be talking about him coming up in a few minutes too. I promoted. This is the show before the show for a couple more minutes. So excited to have Nelson McIlveen on with us, owner of CentryH2O.com. You guys know about it, and we try to talk truth. You guys know that all the time, not only with politics, not only with the government, but also with your health when it comes to food, when it comes to water, when it comes to the cupcake and all of that. Nelson's product is amazing. I haven't had it yet. I've read about it, and we're going to let him blow your mind. He told me he does about 125, 150 podcasts per year.
That's great. And we need to hear what he's talking about, because so many of us, including me, I think bottled water keeps me safe from the chloride. And really, it's just
so many other things that are in the water now, and not just faucet water. We're talking bottled water.
Yeah. That's
the key. But once again, we'll get into all that coming up in just a few moments with Nelson and, of course, Andrew Bailey. He was in town last night with some events, and he was in St. Louis yesterday. I thought we might have a shot of getting him in studio, but the man works his ass off. He was already back in Jefferson City working day, so he'll be joining us live link. But his energy is high. He's loud. He talks fast. He doesn't stop. That's how the man goes. I'm going to ask him today. I was like, "Are you drinking Century H2O water?
Yeah.
Is that where you get your health, your vitality, your energy from?"
Yeah, very much so.
My question will be: is there a difference between natural spring water and filtered water, bottled water?
Yes, like when you go to Schnucks or any other grocery store, you'll see spring water and the natural water. What? And one costs $1 more than the other. Why?
Well, and then Fiji apparently is untouched by man.
Yes.
So
marketing.
Yes. Ask those questions, Joe.
Dawn says before we start the show, this is the show before the show. Dawn says it was weird to see my son commenting on the Anthony Rogers show, the show that Lizzie and I were asked to be on the other night that we did. Great audience, by the way. She said, "I did not know he was watching at the same time I was."
Yes. And Dawn's son was called out by Anthony by saying that they were friends. And then we wished him happy birthday. And we even sang, I went back and listened to us singing, "We will not make American Idol."
No, well, hell no, we won't.
No, we won't. But the intent was good.
I'm a dancer.
Are you a dancer? I'm a dancer too. I am too.
Can't sing, we dance. Hey, by the way, like, subscribe, share the show, canceltheshow.com. Go to all the platforms. We're going to start the show here in a moment. And with that being said, if you have any questions, ask them. Sneaky Nugget 22 chiming in with a question already for Nelson.
Love it.
By the way, Joe, I sent you the link, but if you want to pop up his website again, Century 22H2 or CentryH2O.com. CentryH2O.com. Just to make sure that CentryH2O.com, just to have it up so we can show people as well when he is on. Nelson likes to talk. He is a talker because his story is amazing. What he is doing is amazing.
Can't wait to hear it. I'm waiting to hear this. I really need to hear a good water story to just.
Now, people are already jumping in on it. We have a really good interactive audience, and we
sure
appreciate
do.
that. Okay, let's go ahead and start we'll go ahead and start the show. And do we already have Nelson on?
Yeah, he's backstage.
If we've already got Nelson backstage, we'll do advertiser sponsors right after then, okay?
Sounds good.
So we'll get him going. All right.
So we can start the show now?
Yep.
Okay.
Rock and roll. Hey guys, welcome in to canceltheshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks. Projo in the house as well, getting things going here on a Thursday morning. What are we, episode 269 already? 269 shows. Appreciate you guys jumping in as always, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time on our website. Cancelthisshow.com, news, headlines, politics, cancel culture, education, business. You know, Fridays is a free-for-all Friday section. Have fun with that. We also bring you the stories that you're just not hearing on the news, that you haven't heard on the news, that you don't hear mainstream media talking about. Of course, we're here for you. We try to provide as much information as possible. And of course, the live cast is something that has kind of been unique to us, and we're grateful for all the interaction that we have. We love it when you guys check in for the first time, letting us know where you're from. Obviously, we have a big audience in the St. Louis metropolitan area where we broadcast live out of Strategic Air Services, but we have listeners all across the country and all across the world for that matter as well. We're ready to get things rolling as we normally do. Coming up at 9:30, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey will be on the show. He had a Media Matters segment with Tucker Carlson 2 nights ago and Benny Johnson. He's a good friend of the show. Love it when the Attorney General calls us and asks to be on the show.
Absolutely.
That is a feather in our cap, and we'll take that as well. So he's coming up at 9:30. We're going to talk about a couple segments, including what he has going on with the Media Matters segment and Wash U refusing to hand over documents. When it comes to the transgender cases, Andrew Bailey's not going away from that standpoint. He is not going away. But you've heard me talk about the water situation and how it's near and dear to my heart because I was drinking, about 110 ounces of water a day, thinking I was really, really, really healthy. And then I started to try to find the best water I could find. Then I started watching tests that were being done on bottled water. And I'm like, oh, damn. I'm not as healthy as I think I am. With a man who knows all about it and has a tremendous story. It's Nelson McIlveen with SentryH2O.com. SentryH2O.com. Nelson, we appreciate you jumping in with us today and taking some time to talk with us. I had a chance to talk to you on the phone. You blew my mind. We talked for like 45 minutes, and I'm like, crap. It was like, that was 45 minutes. And I want so much more. Welcome into canceltheshow.com. If you could, first of all, Lizzie and Joe are here. If you could, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and how you got involved in this journey of educating and teaching people about water.
Well, we're an injection molding company. We make plastic widgets, right? So we make plastic parts for Boeing, Airbus, folks like that, Verizon, AT&T, Homeland Security. So our core business is making plastic components, and we got started. I started my business making water RO parts for the water people. And that's going back probably now about 18, 19 years ago. We started making these RO systems, and we started developing and building them. And we thought that was the way to go. RO was what everybody says is what you're supposed to drink, the standard of water, right? You remember when you used to drink the water from the tap? You go outside as a kid and you drink the cold water. At the end of the day, we're from Chicago, and that's like the water is great, nothing better. And then all of a sudden, this RO stuff came on the scene, and everybody started drinking and thought it was great. And then we started hearing things like, well, we need to put minerals back in the water. And I'm like, well, I thought this was perfect. And what we found out was they've been pushing us down a pathway that they've been developing a water product for you to drink that will basically kill your immune system. So think about this.
Yeah.
If you drink dead water, and that's what our water is, they pull everything out of the water. It's liquid. Okay, so now they get to sell you magnesium pills, calcium pills, and they get to sell you, all these electrolyte products, right? It's just money, money, money. And it's all sitting in your natural water that's coming through your tap. If it's processed properly, that's all you got to do. And it's not, and bottom line is, it's not that complicated. Water is very simple. But they've added so many poisons into the water and pathogens into the water. And let's just throw a little chlorine and ammonia on top of that. So we really got you guys' attention. That's what they've done to us. So we developed a product, and it's kind of unique. The product, it comes from the elites of Europe, and the product basically takes your water you have, makes it work, and now you got something that coming from your tap is probably the most healthiest thing you can put in your body.
You're going to have to give us a little bit better explanation than that. That was kind of very vague.
He's going to get into that. We have time. That's why we scheduled an hour.
Okay.
For everything. It's a system, Joe. You'll hear.
Yeah. What happened was, going back about 5 years ago, about 5 years ago, I went to the doctor. Doctor, does that blood test thing, and my PSA levels went from 1.6 to 3.9. So then we went to, a specialist, you got a growth. And then from there, I went to a guy, and he says, hey, we can take it out, but your world's going to change. It's not going to be the same as it was. And I looked at my wife, and I says, well, I'm not too interested in this, And we've been married for like 42 years. So we're all that interested in, going down a different path.
Yeah.
So we went home, and one of the things that we've been doing in our core business was I make a product right now for the evaporator cooler systems and for misters that keep the scale out of the the fittings and all that, right? We keep water. We're able to move scale, and that's a big deal in this day and age. And we do it with oxygen. Everything's done with oxygen. And I said, if I can put oxygen to get rid of scale, if I can drink that oxygen, maybe I can get rid of cancer, right? So we built a system, put it in the house. We just purchased a home, put it in the house, start drinking the water, and went back 4 months later, and the cancer or whatever it was, the PSA levels went back down to 1.7. Doctor, first thing out of his mouth was, what are you doing? And I told him, he goes, yeah, we know oxygen destroys cancer, but we don't know how to get in the stomach or in the bowels of your body. So what we come up with is a product, and we didn't even know we had. Okay, so bottom line is, I'm just trying to get rid of, I'm thinking oxygen.
So you were diagnosed with cancer, Nelson?
Well, we're diagnosed with the PSA levels were changing. Okay, so they went from 1.6 to 3.9. The big C word really never came up. Had a growth. Didn't know if it was good or bad. How they say, it can be, just a growth, or it can be cancerous. We never went that far. I never got a biopsy, never cared to do any of that stuff. Just went home and did my thing.
So that was a scare. So you thought it very well could have been cancer because the levels were high.
There's a good chance. Yeah, there's a good chance that, 50-50 chance, right?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
And they're climbing. They weren't going down. They were stopping. They were keep going up, right? So the decision was made to go in a different direction. So here's what. So we got into this whole deal where okay, so you're trying to fix your problem. So it seems like you fixed it, but then all of a sudden we found out that this water tasted really good. I mean, it was really good water. And my wife, she owns a dog rescue, so she has these dogs, street dogs, right? They come in from the pound. She takes care of them. She gets them healthy, and she put a bowl of water down. These dogs would go nuts over it. I mean, they would drink and drink and drink and drink, and they didn't go to the bathroom any more often than when they were drinking tap water, chlorine water, right? So we thought we might be on something. So we had everything tested, and this is where it gets really interesting. So we tested it for all the normal stuff: fluoride, arsenic, chromium-6, lead, boron, ammonia. I don't know. I think in St. Louis, you guys have chloramines in the water. Okay?
I think we do. Yeah. I don't know that we have arsenic, but
we're told that we have some of the best drinking water. I repeat, we're told we have some of the best drinking water in America, Nelson, throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, for what it's worth.
Who told you that?
Government officials.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You can believe. I would believe that all day long.
Well, there was just a story, I think it was 2 nights ago, on mainstream media here in St. Louis about how the water's bad. So
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Lately, they're saying our water is bad. So it depends on who you hear.
This might be the lesser of evils.
Correct.
Okay, so you got to understand something. So we went to this place called East Palestine, Ohio. You all hear about it?
Oh, yeah. Thank God somebody went to help those people.
So we went in there, with our system. Okay, and our system's evolved since I started 5 years ago. It's gotten crazy what we can do now. So we go into this town. I drop off some systems. We gave them, I think at the time we gave them 200 systems for people put in their homes. We were at ground zero. We're all over the town. But what we did was we had an EPA laboratory do chain of custody and test the water. And this is what the government told these people. We can get the water down to 5.00 vinyl chloride in it, and that's okay for you. All right?
That's okay for you sounds scary.
Well, here's the problem. They couldn't get it any less. So now that becomes the standard. All right.
Is that 5.0 on a pH level or another scale, Nelson? For
That's
my
another
lack of education.
That's a whole parts per million.
Oh, parts. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Million. That's the stuff in there. It ain't doing you no good. That stuff's floating around there. So we went in and we took it to zero. And we did these tests. And I tell you, folks weren't happy when they seen what we were doing. That's all I'm going to say. They were not happy at all. But we pulled 100% of the vinyl chloride out of the water. So the system, the Century system works like this. You start out whatever means they have for cleaning the parasites and the bacteria out of your water, and generally it's chlorine if you're lucky. Now they're going to chloramines, which tear up your copper pipes in your house. The chloramine, ammonia. If you drink ammonia, I don't think that's a good thing for your system. Causes other probably cancers. Who knows, right? But it's another additive they put in there because you guys just we just can't clean the water long enough and cheap enough. So we throw another additive, another chemical into it, right? So that's where we start out. And then we add oxygen into the water at 68 parts per million. At 100 parts per million, water is pretty much cement. That's how dense it is. So we add oxygen. When we have a material in our filters, and what we do is we create oxygen. We don't blow oxygen into the water. We create it with the water. So all water has oxygen, right? So what we do is we take it and we use negative and positive ions, and we create oxygen bubbles. Just go around the calcium scales. Calcium, hard water is the best thing for you guys. Remember what they tell you? Hard water is bad.
Yeah, they tell us that all the time. They say it's even bad for your hair.
It's not.
Wow.
What is hard water?
Yeah, I don't know. What is it?
Minerals. Calcium and minerals.
Minerals, right? Problem is, here's your problem. If you drink water from the tap, okay, that calcium looks like a snowball, a snowflake, and it turns into a snowball, which turns into stones in your body. Can't have that. I mean, I got messed up with that pretty good. I ended up in the hospital over stones. Water in Arizona is about as bad as it gets. You can't have that. What we do is we manage it. So what we do now is we break that rock into a powder form, which your body can consume, can use. And if it's in your home, when we put our system in, say you have we put a whole house system in. Let's say you have a hot water tank, and you know how the calcium goes in your hot water tank and destroys it. We clean it out. The pipes in your house, we clean all the calcium out. If you have an old house, you'll see calcium coming out of your faucet, chunks of this stuff. It's amazing. So that's what we do on the commercial or the business end of things. Going back to the medical end of things. So once it goes through that process, we turn around then and we take and we boost, maintain, but we turn around and basically what comes out the other end here in Arizona is your calcium is at 98 parts per million. That's all your body needs it per day. Your magnesium is at 198 parts per million. That's what your body needs. So now there's no more pills you're buying. You're drinking your water and you're getting all your minerals. You won't have any more cramps in your legs. You won't have anything. All that goes away. Now you're getting also oxygen. When you look at a glass of our water, we got oxygen bubbles that are like 1/4 of an inch thick. They're huge. Okay, you shake the water up and it's all oxygen, man. It's amazing stuff. And you guys heard of a gentleman, Roger Stone?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Well, Roger's wife, she has cancer, right?
Yeah, I did know that.
She's drinking our water. And
that says a lot.
And our water, and the water he's procuring for her because of the oxygen value, our water weighed the same.
Wow, that's crazy.
And your mass, you said, was cured by drinking your water. Correct? Yeah. Is that what you were saying?
I say so. Yeah. Yeah.
So we're having a lot of people ask us right now because you were talking about the hard water. So many people have water softeners on their house.
Yeah.
What tell us about that?
Okay, so let me ask you guys a question. Where does it make any sense to put salt in your water and take a shower in that?
And
Where,
so salt is in a water softener?
That's what softens water.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I
I
just
used
wanted
to
to
have-
clarify
I
that.
have one on my house right
And
now.
they're a nightmare to use on top of being terrible for you.
well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a really simple question. 70% of your water intake is through your shower. Your body's a giant sponge. People don't think of that, right? You only think of, oh, I'm drinking
Never
this.
thought about it.
Okay, so all that salt, all that potassium, whatever you're putting in that softener is going through your skin into your body. I don't think it's a good idea. For some reason, that doesn't sound like a good idea, right?
Right.
So, okay, so with our system, all you're putting on your body is oxygen. Instead of using to move, what they're using the salt to make the scale slippery, to slide through your pipes and come out the other side. That's all they're doing. That's how they're managing the hardness. And and they have too much minerals in the water, that salt won't even manage it. That's why they're saying hard water is bad for you. Right?
We got so many people jumping in with you too, Nelson. We're trying to get to. We have a very interactive audience, by the way.
Yeah.
Kimberly said, "I'm a hairstylist. The minerals in hard water wreaks havoc on the hair and alters the chemical of hair coloring." Any thoughts from that standpoint, Nelson?
Yes. Think about it. We're not talking about taking hard water and using hard water. We're talking about taking water that's been oxygenated. Okay, so now you don't have calcium. They're looking at big, you're actually chunks of calcium. If you put it under a microscope, it's chunks of calcium. That becomes powder. It's all manageable. It doesn't stick to the hair. It doesn't destroy the hair. It doesn't make a mess out of your hair. That's the difference. And here's the other problem you got. And what you don't know is this. Is it the hardness or is it the chlorine and the ammonia they're putting in the water to control the hardness? There's the problem you got. What does chlorine do to hair? What does chlorine do to color?
Turns it green.
Yeah,
there you go. So you don't know what you don't know. Okay.
Right.
Guys. And then what we do is go one more step in this. I haven't even got to the good part of the water system yet.
Sorry to interrupt you. We just had so many people jumping in, Nelson.
We're just kind of talking about the basics, right? So the basics are this. You get magnesium, you get calcium in your diet. You get oxygen at 68 parts per million in your diet. Okay. And really, the harder the water, the more oxygen you get in your water. Okay. So, and then we go to pH. We go to a 9. We take our water 9.0 plus pH. So now that kills the acid in your body, which creates cancer.
Is 9.0, isn't that the best? 9.0, 9.5?
Yeah, really, you want to be anywhere between 8.5 and 9.5. But folks go to the water stores and they get this great water that's been charged, or what is that other product out there? Help me out. Berkey or something. No, not Berkey. The one that they put on your counter for $2,500.
I've never heard of it.
I haven't either.
Holy crap!
You're talking about reverse osmosis?
No. This is like a it's a Japanese.
Somebody will let us know about alkaline. The alkaline.
Oh yeah, it'll change the water. It's a big deal to change water. But here's how they do it: they shoot electricity into it. That's how they charge the water. Okay, so they charge the water. It starts out at 12. 12 is poison. 11.5 is poison. We use that to plate chrome parts on cars. When it gets around 9.5, you can start drinking it. And within 7 days, they say the water is basically back down to 7.4. Okay. So that's what you got. That's what you got up. When you do our water, it's all minerals. I got water that I did a year ago. When I put my pH gun in it, it's still at 9.0. It never changes. Just like the water in the streams. They have high, water out of a stream has high pH because it's minerals in the ground that make pH. You need minerals. Hardness. You see the kind of correlation here, right? So it's how it works. But now we're going to get to the good part.
And before Nelson gets to the good part, we have listeners who are coming in on all of the platforms. Nelson McIlveen, he is the owner of SentryH2O.com. You can check out the products there. I was blown away. You guys know I do my research, and after 25 years in local news, I'm not going to bring people on that don't know what the hell they're talking about or they're fake. And Nelson blew me away when I started to see what was going on with our water. And I promise you, I'm looking at comments. We are getting a lot of comments about bottled water. We will get into bottled water because the amount of bottled water that I was consuming blew my mind. And now I am trying to change a bunch of things.
And
so
that's all I drink. So yeah, I'm interested in that.
And
Yeah,
the stage
me
is
too.
yours, Nelson, in regards to you saying you were getting to the good part.
Okay, so here comes the good part. So we give you all these good things back in your water. Okay, nobody else does all that combined, right? All done. So every house has white pipes in it, correct? Water pipes. You look underneath your sink, they got white pipes. Vinyl chloride, PVC. PVC is a poison. It's the same stuff they dumped in East Palestine. Every time water goes through those pipes, it leaches vinyl chloride into your drinking water. A little bit here, a little bit there. Next, you're 60 years old and your immune system is done. That's how this works. Nothing fast, everything nice and slow. We remove the vinyl chloride out of the water at 100%. Okay. Now we're going to get to the good part. That's just where we're at. Now, here's the good. And oh, by the way, everything we do is green, natural, minerals. Like all of our product comes out of Siberia and Germany. Okay. So now we're going to get to the part that's very interesting. You've heard of pharmaceutical VOCs, PFAs?
Oh, yeah.
We take them out at 100%. Okay. So here's where they told you a little lie. So they got these things called PFAs. And there's 22 PFA. There's 20 PFAs that they say they can't remove out of the water. Forever poisons, right? No, there's 220, not just 20. We remove all 220 of them. We also take out anybody. Okay, so you realize that when anything goes in the human body, ends up back in your drinking water over time, correct? So when you get vaccinated of any vaccine, doesn't matter what it is, that goes down into your drinking water so that your neighbor is vaccinating you when you drink the water. And I don't care if it's a RO system or whatever. ROs do not take vaccines out of the water. So now you got a product that has, your water has, vaccines in it. We remove them 100%. We remove POAs, POFs, and POCs also. POCs is the plastic in the bottled water you're drinking. So we all thought that fast food was making America obese and the world. No, plastic is. So
Can you repeat that?
Okay, so what's going on is plastic comes out of the bottle. So when you go and buy your spring water, which is water out of the ground, they run through an RO system. That's what your spring water is. There is no water out there that's not treated through an RO system. There's a plan. The plan is to kill the water. So they ain't going to give you spring water and give them the guy next to you RO water when they told you RO water is the best going, right? And it's all controlled. It's all controlled by the EPA. They have to hit certain standards. So they cannot and they will not allow stuff to go through the door that the EPA doesn't stamp approval on. So here's the thing. So you end up getting your spring water in, let's say, the state of Washington, okay? Sounds like a good place. Maybe it's coming out of Canada. You never know. But it goes in the back of a semi, okay? Semi goes from point A to point B. And let's say point B is St. Louis. And it is in the middle of summer. Anytime you run a semi down the road, the inside of that truck hits about 180 degrees. Just natural. It's a big aluminum box. The sun's on the outside at 90 degrees. Inside it goes to 180. Come out here in Arizona, see what happens. Inside cars run about 180 degrees when they're parked outside, easily enough, okay? When plastic hits 180 degrees, there's a strange thing happens. The microorganisms of plastic start breaking off into the water. You can't see them, you can't taste them, you don't even know they're there. That goes in and seals off your fat cells. Everybody has fat cells. It's not a bad word. Bottom line is, if they can't release and regenerate, they keep building up on top of one another. That's what's going on with plastic bottles, guys. I make plastic bottles. I used to make all the caps for the bottle industry. We know a lot about this plastic. It's called PET. It's a nice plastic, pretty clean, not too bad. But guess what? It can't hold up to heat. And that's what happens. So there's your problem when it comes to the world of drinking bottled water. When you drink the water that we provide you in our system, it's addicting. You can't get enough of it. It's easy to drink. You ever notice when you drink bottled water, you get full?
Yeah.
Why
for
is
sure.
Why?
I just thought the water filled my stomach up because I definitely
Nelson,
do.
I cannot believe you just said that too, because I had a trainer tell me Well, if you just drink a bunch of the bottled water, he's like, and drink the water, you're going to be full and you're not going to want to eat.
Yeah, I've been
He's
told
like,
that a lot.
that's the problem, is like Americans are not drinking enough water. If you drink enough water, you're not going to be hungry. So I start drinking 110 ounces a day, half my body weight.
Are you losing weight? Are you losing
no, I put, you know what? If anything, I put a pound on.
Okay. So if you believe that, guys, I got a bridge out here I can sell you.
Yeah.
The bridge. I'll sell you that.
Dude, I already said I was stupid. I was just like,
well, this has taken me a little while to figure out, and I didn't figure it out. I got chemists around the world telling me this stuff. All right. So here's the deal. If you drink our water, it's all natural. It goes in the body. It stays in the body. Like, okay, so we have these dogs that have like noses that are phenomenal. Okay. They smell out the water. They drink this water, and they don't go to the bathroom anymore when they didn't drink the water. When they drink in regular water, they go like once a day. Now they still go like once a day, and they drink like 4 bowls of water. They love the water because it's real. Here's the deal. If you drink water, it flushes your system out. You don't want to keep all that. You're not trying to fill yourself up with this stuff, that liquid. You want something that's going to go in, fill everything up, not fill everything, but allow you to flush everything out. Eating food is not bad. You got to learn how to process it. You can eat stuff in moderation, and you can turn around and say, oh, well, this, and here's the other thing. If you drink pop, hey, why don't you guys just drink pop? Oh, it's got a little sugar in it, but other than that, if you drink pop, they'll fill you up too. But if you drink water, good water, you can process the food in your body. That's the other thing. If you don't process the food, what happens to it? It doesn't go anywhere. You got to work all this together. And that's the lie we've been told all this time. So so we take out all your vaccines, anything that pharma gives you, I remove. Anything.
That is amazing. That is
the
really
link
good
for his product, the website, it's Sentry with an S, SENTRY, Sentry. And Joe, if you can pop that up, that would be great. It's SentryH2O.com, SentryH2O.com. And I'm assuming, Nelson, as I went to, because I had a link, the O is the letter O, not the number 0, correct?
Correct.
And we're showing the website for our listeners on the podcast side. That's why I was giving you the pronunciation of the website, so you can check out his stuff. You got to check it. I'm just telling you, the stuff will blow your mind. What we're doing from a healthy standpoint here.
Let me share with you how we got this product. Okay, this is where it gets really kind of uniquely interesting.
You mean it's not interesting yet?
No. Because we kind of dance a little bit with the devil. So let me share with you that part of it. The product that we told you about, this carbon that removes all pharmaceutical VOCs. 3 years ago, the elites in Europe came to my chemist. He's out of Germany. Name is Deepak Chopra.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He, that gentleman, he created the carbon, and what they asked was, we have the vaccine in our water that's in our fish farms, and we don't want the vaccine in our fish.
What vaccine are you talking about?
Well,
all of them or the latest one?
Well, the latest one is the only one that's going to kill you.
Okay.
Because the other ones, your body can probably process that, and it may or may not help, but it doesn't kill you. But the last one, we absolutely know does.
Well, the last one has a product in it called graphene.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they care about. Nothing else matters. Now we're going to get to something very interesting. Speaking of that, so they came to him and said, "Listen, we need something to protect our fish farms." That's what I thought. That's the story I was told. And so he came up with a carbon. So the average carbon that you touch in your RO systems or in a carbon tank that you may have in your garage next to that salt can is 600 to 900 grains of density. Remember that number, okay? Density and time is how we control cleaning water, not salt, not RO. That's how we clean water. That's how the Hershey's, Kraft cheese, all the people in the food processing world use our product to clean their water, okay? So that's what we found out, density and all that. So my guy came up with a carbon, and the carbon we use is at 2,800 grains of density, and that's how we get these products out of the water. See the difference? I can literally shut your water line off in your house if I pack my carbon too tight. That makes the water so sweet, so tasteful. Nothing can get through this carbon. That's how dense it is. And that's why we have something that's unique and nobody else in the world has it. Nobody in the United States have it except we do. No one else.
And this is a water treatment / system that you have. It connects onto the bottom of your sink underneath the sink, and you can use this for the entire house. Not only for residential, but for commercial. And it's only for a sink, one sink.
Yes. So let me explain it just a little bit. We have a whole house system. A tank goes in your garage. One tank goes in your garage, puts oxygen. Oh, and we only use catalytic carbon. You've ever heard of it? Only catalytic carbon, which is we're talking about $180 a cubic foot. Normal carbon goes out at $40 a cubic foot. This catalytic carbon is what takes out all the poisons, right? So we have that in your garage. And then underneath your sink, we have the POV. And that's, basically it takes 15 minutes to install it. You hook it up to your cold side of your faucet. We got a video out there, and that's all. It takes 15 minutes, and that is $325. You want to do the whole house, depending on the size of your home, it ranges between $3,000 and $6,000 to do the whole house. And that means every faucet is clean. The only difference is what's underneath your sink. We polish the water one more time, and we add we change the pH at that point. That's where we change the pH. That's where we have the carbon that removes the pharmaceuticals because of the expense of it and the density of it. If I put it in your whole house, you wouldn't have water lines, and your system would cost you $10,000. So we're trying to make this affordable to everybody out there. And I'm telling you, these things are selling off the hook. We can't even keep them in the building anymore. It's how fast they're selling, because everybody's figuring out what they've been telling you is wrong. It's just wrong.
We had a woman that she said that her doctor is telling her that bottled water is fine to drink, that it isn't bad, better than diabetes, than soda or any other sugar-infested drinks. Well, yeah, I guess if that's coming from her endocrinologist.
Okay.
Says that Missouri's water is okay.
Yeah, right. And your doctor told you to get vaccinated.
Well, many did.
No,
that's for sure.
Yeah, almost every doctor I know did.
Same here. So here's the deal. They don't know what they don't know. This is what we're putting on the market right now is the only product that we know that takes your water and makes it work for you. Everybody else's water out there doesn't work for you. You can't. Okay, so this is how we are like sheep. Well, I take everything good and bad out of the water, and it's the best thing in the world for you. That's your new standard. Oh wait, throw some salt in the water and put that on your body and see if you're going to have a stroke. You kind of get the gist of what they're talking about, guys.
Yeah.
What we're talking about. Go ahead.
What about saltwater pools or saltwater hot tubs? Is that a different type of salt? If our bodies are sponge?
Well, you got to take the bad stuff out of the water somehow, I guess, right? That's all I can say.
So would you have a saltwater pool?
No, all my pools out here are unfortunately they're the chlorine type. I can at least keep the chlorine at the lowest level.
Okay. No, I got it. I appreciate the ideas there. How do you infuse the oxygen into the water? We had that question as well.
Oh, it's really cool. Okay, so we have a product called CT resin, and it freeboards. Okay, and when the water passes through, it creates when that scale comes through between two of the piece of CT resin, it creates a negative and positive ion charge and creates the oxygen bubble. It creates the oxygen bubble. So when you drink that water, it goes into your stomach, then goes into your bowels. Okay, I got ladies that, this is crazy. I got ladies that have breast cancer, and they went on some kind of a cocktail and our water, and they're free of stage 4 breast cancer. We get all kinds of stories like that, guys. I have a friend, he was on our water for 20 months, stage 4 prostate cancer, and he finally succumbed to the disease. But bottom line is he lived 20 months, and the doctor looked at him and said, "Why are you still alive?" That's generally takes you at like 8 weeks, So all being said, oxygen matters. And when you look at our product, you'll see the oxygen. It's not, we're not making, we're not like, well, we got some oxygen in the water, 3%. Oxygen matters. And so does, the magnesium, the calcium matter. This is all natural stuff. And if you come out to Phoenix and you go to the Sun Stadium, every bit of water in that stadium is mine.
You're talking about Arizona State football.
Arizona, the Suns basketball team.
The products in the
whole arena. We manage the,
Congrats. That's a big deal.
Okay.
That is a huge deal.
Think about this. You go to your favorite sporting event and you get your favorite drink with your ice in it. You know what's in that ice?
Yeah.
Phosphates. That's how they manage. That's how these ice machines manage the scale so it doesn't stick to their ice makers. Phosphates destroy, or you drink phosphates, it's a direct cancer to the human being. We do it with oxygen, and that's the difference, guys. Everything that we know about, I hate to say this, and this is really sad, but everything you know about water has been a lie. Everything. And I didn't realize. I used to build them. I used to build RO systems. That was my business. And we changed our pattern. We changed everything. We got rid of it all. We kicked them out. Now, here's another cool little story. You guys, anybody having their own fish tanks at home? Well, don't they tell you to go get the desalinated water or whatever it is at the store? I used to buy like 35 gallons of this water every time I cleaned the fish tank. And I filled the tank up, and we had angel fish. When you buy them, they're the size of a quarter. They grow to the size of a $half. We put our water in there, which looks kind of 3D because of the minerals. And these goofy fish would grow to 2 inches in diameter within 2 weeks. And then we thought, that's a fluke, right? So we went and got some more, put them in there, 2 inches, boom. So even the fish like the water. They figured out that those minerals matter. Animals, human beings cannot live with dead water. It's not practical. It doesn't make any sense. But they got you buying all these other things which you don't need to buy. So when you buy this product and you start drinking water, you go out and you get yourself a nice, like a stainless steel tumbler. When you get our ice cubes, when you make our ice cubes out of the ice, are hazy. You remember when you've seen ice cubes and they're shiny? Do you know what makes ice cubes shiny? Chlorine. These are hazy. They're all minerals. You drop them in there. Your drink gets cold rapidly, and you got yourself a nice drink for the rest of the day. And that's what we do out here in Arizona. Everybody, that's what, they just take your water with you because you got to have it.
Can you break down water bottles, Nelson, in regards to good, bad, indifferent, pH level? Have you had testing? Because we've had people say, I drink Ice Mountain water, I drink Tennessee water. I'm just curious from that standpoint, because this is something, Pro Joe and myself were very interested in as well.
The different water, Fuji water. Okay, everybody talks about food. I like the bottles. I think the Fuji bottles are cool bottles, right? All the different waters come from different places, maybe. And what's happening is bottom line is the water bottle is poison because it puts plastic in your system. But the water inside the bottle has to go through a government regulated process, correct? You can't just take water and take it out of a spring and sell it to you. It's not, because there's still, even in a spring, you do have bacteria, you do have parasites, you do have things in the water. Agree? So they got to remove it. And how they do it is they run it through a chlorine bath and so forth, and then they run it through RO. Okay? Because you can't sell somebody a bottle full of chlorine.
So all bottled water is going through some sort of chlorine cleansing.
Has to.
Okay.
That's interesting because some bottled water tastes different. So I usually get whatever's on sale. And, several people on the different chat lines are saying, well, like Deerberg's is better or whatever. I had a water bottle the other day and I had never had one of these before. And it's Core, Core. And it tasted completely different than all the other water bottles. It tasted really good and crisp, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right. And what they do is they run it through more carbon. All you got to do to change the taste of water, you run it through carbon. So our carbon is like 2,800 grains of density, super dense. Everybody else is can get up to 900 on a good day. But you run it through that kind of carbon, you change the taste of the water. That's why we do it. That's why you have a carbon block in your refrigerator. It ain't to make the water better. It's to make the water smell and taste good.
But so there's nothing wrong with running the water through carbon. It's just not a okay. So but if you're running it through carbon, what I'm trying to understand, Nelson, is that eliminating the other situations that you've talked about chlorine and fluoride and so forth?
No, when you run
it's just smell and taste.
Smell and taste. Okay. Then they run through RO to do the rest. We kill the water at 100% because they can't do one without the other. The membrane tube in an RO system what destroys the water. The carbon blocks that you buy, those filters you buy for your RO system, that just makes the water smell and taste good. That's it. So that's it. So the different waters that you purchase, they can put different tastes in the water. They can put different minerals in the water. It's all synthetic naturally. But here's the deal. They'll run through different types of carbon. They may even be running through activated carbon. And that's what gives you a different taste. But they're not destroying the water because they can't.
So there's no such thing as natural spring water and all those other marketing.
Let me ask you this. Everything that's in the ground has bacteria in it. You all agree on that?
Yeah.
It all has, parasites. It all has stuff in it, right? Germs in it coming out of the ground, right? It's going through ground that may have been, oil fields, whatever you want to call it, fracking, the whole 9 yards. So everything has stuff in it that has to come out. I cannot sell you water out of the ground that hasn't been managed somehow to clean it. Otherwise, I'm going to get sued. It's going to come back on me. And the federal government will not allow water that does not meet their standard, their design, their way of doing business without that water being treated. Don't kid yourself. One of the most regulated industries in the United States is water. You're not right.
That's interesting to know. Okay, like we're talking about regulations and stuff. A lot of our listeners have well water. How regulated is that, and how good or bad is that for you?
Okay, so well water is just what we just got done talking about. So we have special systems for well waters just because of the fact well water is totally different than city water. So if you got your own well and you're not treating the well with chlorine or ammonia to kill whatever's in that water, right? That's one system. If you have nitrates in that water, that's another system. That water, nitrates will turn a baby blue. You've heard of blue babies, right?
I have.
That's from nitrates. We've had to go into homes and fix them because of that. What about the guy, they're dumping all these poisons or pesticides in the farm fields, which goes into your drinking water. Not a good thing. Okay. Then if you go up to northern Michigan, you have, red water, which comes from iron. We take that out. So the water is what it is. It's not bad water. It's just got to be managed, guys. You just got to treat it properly. You got to work with it. And everything that we do is mineral, no chemicals, none. So when we have minerals that remove the iron out of the water, see, everything that we need for our body is already in the ground. We just bring it out, add it to the right place, change it up. And
all natural.
It's all natural. And that's the part that kind of makes it a little bit sad. They want to tell you that you got to be taking in all kinds of pharma pills because you're not. And bottom line is, here's the other thing that's going to blow you. 98% of all pharma is sold in America, not the rest.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
98% of what?
Pharma.
Yeah.
All your pills. All your pills come
here.
Yeah. Now here's the part I'm going to tell you it really sucks. Graphene. You've heard of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. UK is putting graphene in the drinking water as of the first of the year.
Who is again? You said the UK?
Yeah. I watched a live stream of them reading pharma. Pharma basically controls the world right now.
Why would they do that? We do know that pharma controls the world, that's for sure. Why would UK find or think that graphene is good to put in drinking water?
Same reason America does. It's coming here. It's already okay. So in Arizona, we sold our water rights June of this year to the feds for $60 million. The feds own our water. We are being told right now that we don't have enough water because they're diverting our water to other parts of the country. So what they're going to do is we're going to dark water. You've heard of that?
Dark water. No, explain it to us.
Okay, so dark water is being used in California. Dark water is being used in Texas. Dark water is when everything that goes through your body goes into underground aquifers. It sits down there for 10 years, gets pushed around, the dirt cleans it, and comes back into the drinking system. Dark water means they're taking them from 10 years down to 1, 2, 3 years. That is that water. That water is going to break down your immune system. How are we going to clean this water, guys? We're going to use graphene to clean the water.
Graphene instead of chlorine.
And graphene is in the latest jab, correct?
Graphene is the thing that causes blood clots, causes heart attacks, causes everything. It's run off a 5G network. It's the most electrified product in the world. If you want to move data, graphene is the product you use to move data. That's where you're at. That's how big this is. And that's the direction they're taking. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist, trust me.
Yeah, it's another reason to hate the government and that they don't have our best interest at heart. And it's sad, but it's a reality. But Americans, as you know, we're lazy and we just want our normal life and our happy hours and our kids' sports and our good things. And we don't educate ourselves. And we just think everything's fine and the government's going to take care of us because they always have, right?
Well, yeah, right. Okay, we'll go with that. We're coming out with the product that will blow your mind. This product is a straw. It's good for 300 gallons, and it removes everything out of the water that's bad. It is amazing. This product came out of NASA. That's how big it is. It was built for the space station, for them to drink their own urine.
So where does, like, a couple listeners are asking, like, you have the Culligan man come into your house or into your work and you have those big bottles. I used to have that years ago at my business because our water always tasted bad and that water tasted good. And you have the guy that comes in, puts the bottles in, and then he takes them out and you have your little cuppies. How does that fall in?
Same place, bad. What's good about it? It comes from the same place. Culligan doesn't do anything different. They use an RO system. Guys, the feds control how you treat your water.
So reverse osmosis is bad?
It's about as bad as it gets.
I've heard that too, Joe.
Okay, so let me ask you guys.
But we're told reverse osmosis is supposed to be good. And who tells us that? The government.
Well, okay, so no, let's go back to you guys are intelligent people. You think, you work through life. Let me ask you a really simple question that nobody asks. If I take everything good and bad out of this water that I need to survive, I can only live 3 days without it, and I take everything good out of it, as well as bad, how does that become a good product for my body? Just a simple question. Think about it. You can argue pros and cons of all this stuff, but at the end of the day, if I strip the water of everything good and bad, how does that make me healthier?
And so you just strip everything out and it's just
liquid.
That's it. And so I guess
there's nothing in it.
Nothing. So I guess that hydrates you, but then it doesn't.
No, it's not good
for
you.
No.
That's crazy.
No, minerals hydrate you. Water doesn't hydrate you.
Got it.
That's why they take the minerals out. Now you're not hydrated. So I don't have to take any additives. No cramps, no leg cramps, no cramp. All that goes away when you drink mineralized water. Now, what they want to do is give you synthetic minerals. Okay, you can get that for an RO system. Synthetic. How does that? You don't want fake stuff in your body. You want natural, and that's the difference, guys. Let me put it this way: if the people in the know, the wealthy of the wealthy, are using a product, I think I want to use the same one, and that's what we have. The wealthy of the wealthy are using what we have. So they've introduced a thing called chloramines in the water. You got that? Well, carbon and chloramines don't work. Chloramines destroy carbon in like 4 weeks. So when you buy an RO system, you run your chloramine water through it, and you don't have regular carbon, it's dead in 4 to 5 weeks. You got to use catalytic carbon. Guess what? We really don't make catalytic carbon in America. We make it in Europe, but not here. You see the difference? You see what's going on? It's a way to put water, the most important fluid in your body, in a bad place so the body can't utilize it.
Megan says, I thought we needed the hydrogen and oxygen. It isn't water without it, correct?
All water has hydrogen in it. We're not taking that out. We're just adding more oxygen for the purpose of your health.
So you're adding oxygen and you're adding minerals. Is that correct?
We don't add minerals. Minerals are in your water.
The minerals
we break them down to a powder form so your body can digest them.
Okay.
We boost them so that you're sitting where you need to be.
Sarah says, I have an RO system, but it has a remineralization step after.
Yep, that's synthetic remineralization. If you want synthetic minerals in your body, then that's good.
So it's the fake stuff you were just talking about.
Yeah, why do you want fake stuff in your body, guys? Why do you want to go and keep feeding the monster? Because you got to buy that product, you know, you put it in, and you don't know what they're giving you. They say it may be magnesium, but what is it? What level of magnesium? You know, when you use natural products that were put on this earth for your body, and people have been using all the, you know, for the last, what, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7,000 years, whatever it is. Guys, this is where, you know, why change what we've already been given?
The system is it around 350? Is that where you were for 5 years? Am I saying?
No, the system is for 5 years. That's a whole house system. They run $3,000.
The whole house.
That does your whole house. It's all quick disconnect. It's very simple to install. It's easy stuff. It's not complicated at all. And we'll be coming out with videos here shortly that show you how easy it is.
What about filters? How does that play into this?
You
and
never.
How often?
Okay, the only filters you replace are the ones underneath your sink. And you replace them every couple of years, because once you have the whole house system going, it's fine. If you have just the under the sink product, you replace it every year, because you're going to run that water through it. You're going to, you know, do your cooking, your vegetables, all this stuff. So think about this. You cook vegetables, right? You're using water that has magnesium, calcium. You have, you know, this water has oxygen. It has pH increase, and that's what you're putting in your vegetables. So now the product that you're eating with is even enhanced. It takes everything to a new level.
What about, and somebody was asking about this too, and I know doctors have said salt is bad for you, and I just want to make sure you clarify salt. There are some top leading health nutritionists out there, and this may not apply to water, who are saying that we've been told bad and wrong by the government that salt is bad for us, that actually salt is a very good thing to be putting into our body. As a matter of fact, so much so, drinking salt water is better than drinking these energy drinks, because salt is what our body needs, because we are 80 to 85% of Americans are dehydrated.
You're dehydrated because you're not drinking minerals.
Okay.
Minerals.
I had a feeling where you were going with that.
Minerals hydrate you. You know, I mean, think about this, guys. You know, my water is my my medicine. I don't do any kind of pharma pills at all. I'm the guy that the doctor hates. You know, I'm 65 years old. I'm healthy.
Damn, you're 65. You look great.
Well, oh wait, hey, I didn't tell you the best part. When you start drinking, this has just come to my attention, so I'm just going to throw this out there. Women that start getting, or even men that start getting lines in their face, lines in their skin, when you hydrate yourself with our water, they start disappearing. Seriously, I'm not joking. You know, your skin gets soft because now you got oxygen in it. You hydrate yourself. You're not dried out. You're not dehydrated. That's the difference. And we're seeing ladies like, yeah, you don't need to go get Botox. This does a better job. So you see the uniqueness. So that's what's going on. And here's the other thing too. This is something we found when we started. We sell this to a lot of seniors. They get the product. They love it. We go into retirement communities, and it goes off the charts.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But you know, so
do they say they start to feel better? I'm assuming so.
Within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, I got people getting up an hour and a half early that they used to. They don't know. They don't want to. They're retired. I got women that their skin's getting super soft, plumped, you know, because of the oxygen and everything in it, and their lines. Because when you plump up your skin, what happens? The lines go away. That's the difference, right? It's not some great deal. It's just that when you put all the right stuff in your body, things change. So these ladies are seeing a difference in their world. Oh, their hair. When you don't have chlorine and ammonia in the water, your hair becomes softer, not brittle. All these things are changing for them. So those are some big things that we're seeing, byproducts that we never really took into consideration before. That's the, guys. Water is basic. and all we did was we took a product that is being used around the world, put it into a simple system that everybody here can afford. And that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to, you know, I'm not going up against the big players out there. We're just giving you a product that you can afford. And that's what that's the bottom line here. And we'll be coming out with some new products that you're going to be amazed with, where, you know, how you got to replace the carbon in these tanks every 5 years. We are testing a product now that we can regenerate the carbon. So once you buy our system, you'll never buy another one for life. That's where we're going.
Dave said, hey, we used to use an O2 generator to clean our commercial pool. Is that needed at home?
O2 generator. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. That's what I was asking.
Yeah, I'm sure it's all good stuff, but you got to figure out how it applies to your world, how simple it is. Okay, so bottom line is you come in your house, you got to get dinner ready, you want something simple, you're running out the door, you put your cup against the refrigerator, right? Where do you get your water from? Your refrigerator, right? Simple. Plug it in, grab some water, off you go. That's what this is all about. Simple, simple, simple.
Until somebody can get your system, or if they can't for whatever reasons, what's the lesser of the evils? If there is a lesser of the evils, Nelson, if you even go down that path, and you may not want to, I'm just trying to ask you questions that we get from people when it comes to bottled water, because is bottled water a little bit better than tap water?
Well, okay, so bottled water is not any better. Well, tap water will kill you. You want stones? Go get tap water. Yeah. I tried that once, and I end up in the emergency room.
And that includes the ice that you have in your refrigerators from tap water, plus phosphates.
Yeah, we don't, like I said, that's everything, right? Tap water is full of minerals. So, I mean, the more minerals is going to give you stones. That's what you can't handle. Your body can't handle stones. Okay.
So most refrigerators have a filter on them. Are you saying that filter is just for show?
Yep. It's just for show. It's a piece of carbon. Actually, a buddy of mine makes those filters. It's the greatest deal going, man. It's a piece of carbon, not even catalytic carbon, just regular carbon that makes your water smell and taste good. That's all. Smell and taste good. No more, no less. It doesn't do anything that's going to remove any of the harmful stuff in the water. Think about it. Carbon at that level, and it's a piece that is really small. So how long does that last? It's like that Berkey that you put underneath your faucet. Piece of carbon, makes it smell and taste good. It doesn't help you. It doesn't enhance your world.
Hey, Nelson, before we let you go too, because, there's a lot of, I believe in your product and I trust you. And I know there's people who are salespeople out there. And when you go to social media, it's difficult for people to trust everybody. We had somebody say, well, how do we know everything that you're saying is true, that you're not just some salesman who's out there?
All right, listen. Go to the website. There are tests, EPA certified tests, not some tests I did in my backyard or in my bathroom. These are EPA certified tests, paid. They got documented numbers on them, the real deal, and they tell you what we take out of the water. They tell you what we put in the water. They tell you how we manage the water, okay? These tests were expensive, and we're getting ready to do one now in Florida because Florida is full of fluoride. They keep dumping more and more fluoride in and that fluoride is basically poison fluoride. It's not even the stuff that's in your toothpaste. And we're actually pulling that out of the water, and we're testing to show you that what we say is real. I don't need to sell you something that's not going to help you. I don't care. I mean, my core business in life is injection molding. Okay. I make the emergency slides apparatuses for Boeing and Airbus. That alone, I can live the rest of my life comfortably. I don't need to scam people. We're not about that. Product of what we got is something that's going to save your life. Because when they start putting everything that they want to put in the water, we got the only product that I know of that's going to remove it. And that's the only thing I can tell you, folks.
And an individual can install this themselves underneath the sink, as I looked at your website.
15 minutes, you're done. I'm a little slower than most. I take 30 minutes because I got to talk to whoever I'm putting it in for, my friends. So I'm at 30 minutes, okay? But 15 minutes, you're done. In and out. Oh, by the way, those clear housings that we use, it's the only plastic. It's copolyester. It's the only plastic that's pure that we know of. Okay, Eastman Chemical doesn't know how we take white material and make it back crystal clear. It's unbreakable. So that's kind of the stuff that we do. We're not, like I said, we kind of got involved with the elites of Europe on this program. And that's, by doing that, we came up with something that we thought was good. In my world, I went from possibly cancer, maybe not, maybe some. People I know that drink our water, their cancer has been controlled. Not everybody's it's gonna work for. We know that, but at the end of the day, when you drink this water, it's addicting. The minute you drink this water, you will not want anything else. It's all I can, and that I can tell you. And we have not had one person in thousands of these things that we sold that even come back and say, "Hey, take it back because we know the water tastes bad." Well, I shouldn't say that. I had one lady. She was in her mid 80s. She was on chemo, and when you drink water that's not dead, and you take chemo, you can taste the metal in the water. We found that out.
That's interesting. Okay, so a couple people are asking, so you put it under the kitchen sink. So by putting it under the kitchen sink, how does it affect, like, if you open your mouth in the shower and start drinking it? Does it help even though it's just under the sink?
Just under the sink. You have to have the whole house system for the shower.
Okay, so you would just put it underneath the sink, and it would so wherever you put it, it comes only out of that spigot. So if you wanted it everywhere, you have to put it under every single sink.
No, you just buy a house system, one tank.
Oh, okay.
You put it at the main intake.
Got it. Okay, thanks for clearing that up.
And we are coming out with a filter for the shower. That is coming. So so let's say you live in an apartment, right? So you put this underneath your sink. So now your tap water, or you can even hook it into your refrigerator. And we have a kit for the refrigerator. So the water coming out of your refrigerator is all treated. Boom, done. But then you want to take a shower, like you just said. All that poison's going into your skin. Not a good thing. We're coming out the filter that will go right on your shower head. And that will allow you to use the shower in that capacity.
I have another question. Does your system take out, and I'm going to butcher these, Giardia and Cryptosporidium?
I've never heard of this. What,
Neither
Giardia? How are you spelling Giardia?
Giardia.
You've heard of that? Okay, so let me throw this at you, okay?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I have heard of that, Joe.
Okay, whatever we hear of, we generally try to test for. I've never heard of that, so I've never tested for it. But let me share this with you. When you push, how do we clean water? Time and density. I'm sitting at 2,800 grains of density on our carbon and time. So we believe that if you can take out pharma products, you can take out anything. That's the difference. Because think about how small that graphene is that's in the water. You can't even see it. It's nanotechnology. We remove it. So I'm pretty sure we're pulling everything that's in that water out. Now, if that's something of concern, we throw it through a laboratory and we find out. We have no problem doing that, you see. So we'll test for that if that becomes a situation. That's the first time I've heard of it. But yeah, we don't have a problem testing for anything.
Does that include Cryptosporidium?
What?
Yeah, exactly. I've never heard of it.
Okay. Yeah, what is that in your water?
I don't know. That's just people in chat. There's actually quite a few people in chat saying it.
Saying that? Well,
no, I heard a couple. There's one person brought up the crypto, and somebody else brought up Giardia.
What part of the country are they from? That'd be interesting to know.
I would imagine here in St. Louis.
Okay. Well, you know something. Big cities have strange things in their water, right? Have you ever looked inside of a city water pipe? The stuff that's growing inside of it is amazing. It's literally amazing.
I've seen pictures. It's pretty disgusting.
It was like, whoa. I mean, is that the sewer or is that your drinking water? So, but the other thing too is the water that you'll get out of our system when you put it in the glass will have a 3D effect. That's how there's minerals in water. It gives you that 3D effect.
Donna wants to know. She says my bottled water test is at 0.2. What does that mean? Anything to you from what she said? My bottled water test at 0.2.
That could be pH.
That would be a problem if it's pH, isn't it?
Well, it all depends. If you just want a liquid, no. If you're looking for something that's going to kill acid in your body that creates cancer, yes. It has to be at 8.5 plus, no more than 9.5. Above 9.5 is bad.
Do you know any water bottles that are 8.5 plus?
No. Yeah. No, I shouldn't say that. There are pH water out there. Problem is, I don't know. I know pH water only stays that way when it's done not naturally. It only stays that way for a period of time. So I don't know that.
And then it loses its pH value, right? I saw that in a testing once.
Yes, it does.
That it needs to be consumed quickly.
Within 7 days.
Okay.
So I don't know what I don't know. Our particular water, it's done with minerals, so it never goes away. I got water that's a year old that still has the 9.0. Well, it's actually 9.1 pH. Yes. So I don't, in natural water, stuff coming down a stream, that's got minerals in it. That's that 9. So that's natural. That's the natural way of doing it. I don't know of any that do it that way except us.
Well, buddy, I appreciate the time that you've given us today, Nelson. Anything that you want to leave us, our viewers, our listeners with before you get out of here today, on top of everything else that you've already talked about for the last hour?
Yeah, the only thing we're saying is, our product that we're putting on the market, we test everything through EPA laboratories. Okay, so we don't put things on the market that we don't feel are true. There's no reason to do that. You don't need to go out and scam people. But the bottom line is the water that goes in your body matters. Without it, you're not going to be healthy. And I think there's a goal behind that. So we came out with something as cheaply, as affordable as we possibly could. I mean, the products that we're using are the highest level products, but we do it at a point where, we're not out there raising the price. We struggle. We fight with everything that comes in through customs. We get nailed with heavy, but we feel that it's important to get people safe and healthy, and that's what we do, and that's why we're doing it, guys. So think about it, look at it, and maybe something makes sense. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But your RO systems are not doing you any favors.
Is Arizona State's basketball arena, they happy so far?
It's been in there for 2 years.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And we have the water's so bad. I mean, so bad that the water's red.
Okay? Ooh. Yeah, somebody on our chat line is saying that happens to them too in Jefferson County, which is south of St. Louis.
That is iron. They have iron in the water. We can fix that. That we know how to fix very easily. But at the Sun Stadium, it's the oldest stadium in the country. So by us going in there and fixing that stadium, it gives us credibility. And here's the deal: you ever hear of a company called Footprint?
I haven't. I didn't know about it until I looked at your website.
Okay, Footprint is, how do I put this? Their mission is to change the carbon footprint of everybody in the world. They are as green as it comes. When they looked at our product, I didn't even get a call from them. They just bought it. They sent a plumber over. He picked up, he picked up 190 systems, and they put them in. We didn't even have a conversation with them. They didn't even care. What they seen, what we were doing, made sense, and they said we want it. So that water, and by the way, the Suns are now doing pretty good, by the way. So I'm taking credit for that, because here's the other thing, guys. When you drink water that has oxygen in it, and that goes into your gut, okay, we all talk about the gut, right? You get a wellness, you get energy, it's not like drinking coffee energy. You get just being of energy, and where you're able to go through your day very positive. I got people that I sponsor one of the top horse barrel racers in the country, and they all struggle with fatigue and depression because they're on such a rigorous schedule. You're riding a horse like that. I mean, that's not an easy thing to do. Mm-hmm. And these gals are just getting the snot kicked out of them, on all this. Their horse and them are on our product, and they're seeing that their level of depression, if you want to call it depression, is minimizing. It's going away. So when you're not, when you have energy, everything looks brighter, and that's what we're seeing on that end.
Nelson, thanks so much for your time today, my friend. Nelson McIlveen. Super informational, educational. Grateful for all the time that you've given us. That's for sure.
Well, listen. Don't listen to the chatter out there, guys. Think about the water that you're putting in your body, and just think about, well, does this make sense anymore to be putting salt in my system? Does this make sense anymore to be drinking water that has no life in it? Think about that. That's all I'm asking. I mean, and when intelligent people think past the chatter, they get it. It ain't that hard. They get all this. Look at our tests. The tests will tell you that what we say we do. And I can turn you on to thousands of people that use our system, and they'll tell you the performance level. They'll tell you how good it tastes. They'll tell you all these things. And that's how, I can even turn you on to people that have had cancer and whatnot. And they're like, whoa, this stuff actually, it's possibly doing something. We all don't know what actually is going on behind door number 2. But guess what? When your cancer or your PSA levels change, something's good. That's all I cared about. Something was good, and here you are.
Nelson, we'll be in touch, my friend. Right. I appreciate it. It's centuryh2o.com, centuryh2o.com. Thanks again for your time, my friend.
Hey, guys, I appreciate the time. I appreciate you giving us a moment to tell the world about something different. And thank you.
Thanks, Nelson.
All right. We'll catch up with you next time. It's one of those things. Yeah. Educate yourself. We talk about that all the time. When it comes to all of the health issues that are out there in our society, water is a massive issue. We can't survive without water. It's the most important thing that we have that we put into our body. Are you going to have the best water you possibly can or not? And of course, if we all believe that the government does not want the best for us, then you have to think another step further, which is difficult for us because we just trust what's in our grocery stores. We trust that, natural spring water. But then you learn, like I have today, oh my God, it goes through an RO process. Oh my God, every bottled water has to go through some sort of chlorine testing before it gets put in a bottle and sent to a grocery store. And it's the amount of carbon that makes water taste better or not, but it doesn't eliminate any of the bad stuff in it to break it down. This stuff is very fascinating to me. That's for sure. It's been an eye-opening experience, and it's interesting. I was chugging 110 ounces of water today, and I'm not kidding. I wasn't seeing a massive difference at all.
Yeah.
The only thing that it's just if you're not eating as much. I'm somehow, some way I'll make it happen at some point in time with getting this. That's for sure.
Well, and there was so much good information. And of course you already know this. I love looking at the chat line because they were asking such great questions, and even wasn't exactly talking exactly what Nelson was saying, but they were even talking about testing your water. You can go into some supermarkets and get your bottled water tested. That is something I did not know.
Hey, by the way, Joe, Jonathan just texted me during the show, so I didn't lie to you or forget. He can come on anytime with us. We can just cancel this graphic behind whenever you want to. It's just kind of how it is. We just never know who's going to show up.
I love that about our show.
Jonathan Heslop with Rockwood Charcoal, but he's got another interesting thing that he's got coming to the St. Louis metropolitan area. And heck, he can jump on with us until we jump in with Andrew Bailey at 9:30 as well to talk about what he has going on. I'm just grateful. For the information and education that we're starting to get. So Todd says exactly. You have to try and get clean water, and it's a great start for the health. So
I love it.
No doubt about it. And, because our bodies is all made up of that. And by the way, Greg says you can take your tap water to be tested.
I love all that. So if you can't afford a system right now, I think ultimately it would be great to at least have one on your kitchen sink. But if not, that's something I learned today from Todd that I didn't even know that in an area supermarket, you can go test your tap water or your water.
Yeah, and if anybody has any questions, let us know. I'll get the information to Nelson as well. He's super busy and has an opportunity to get back to us all the time when we try to. So we're grateful for that.
Yeah.
Joe, you just give me the thumbs up when he's all good to go from audio and visual standpoint, buddy. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks, Pro Joe in the house as well. Just giving a shout out, and don't worry about putting up the graphics, Joe, because I need to do it. If you get to it in time, fantastic, but it's not necessary. Giving a shout out to our partners, Amini's in the Chesterfield Valley, with their traditional infrared saunas and the hot tubs that are rocking and rolling, not only for your health, because we're really big into our health, but your heart health as well. Experienced real estate partners, Kathy Helbig Strict, Steve Strict. Of course, 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD. You can give them a call. By the way, if you go to canceltheshow.com and click on our partners page, we have the links all set for you on what to do. Ham was here yesterday, Patrick, from Route 66 Dispensary. 5 locations throughout the St. Louis metropolitan area, and the Ostara line is in hundreds of stores all across the state of Missouri. Solar City STL, making renewable energy part of your life, the heavy lifting being done by them. They also do their own installs, which is massive if you're going to talk about solar. They're booked for a reason. People want to get off the grid. And if they're using enough energy, it makes sense for them. Strategic Air Services, the premier transportation providers in all things aviation, from aircraft management to concierge services and acquisition. And that's where we broadcast live out of Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Paige Measley and her husband with WeQuip, the peer-to-peer rental marketplace. Renters can go to search for items that they need that their neighbors may not have, or they just don't want to buy it. And of course, Winty's, where we do our parties. Winty's Food Check, some of the best pizza, burgers, wings, and smoked meats that you're going to find. Another partner is Jonathan Heslop with Rockwood Charcoal. When they're in season, Jonathan is in here. You guys may remember Jonathan. He loves to come in and mix it up when it comes to politics. You text me, hey, I got to be out at the airport today.
Yeah, I'm glad he's here.
If we could stop by, I could come in and make the announcement too. What we've got going on with Jonathan, obviously, Rockwood Charcoal, #1 charcoal brand in America. What, 8-9 years straight?
Going on 10.
Going on 10 years
How about
straight.
that?
And a supporter of cancelthisshow.com. We love having you come in, especially talking politics as well. But you have something else, a new surprise for St. Louis metropolitan area people as well.
I do. When I've got 4 kids, so I've got to have 4 jobs. You know how that goes. So I've got the charcoal. I've got Platinum Rock Legends, of course. And don't talk about it a lot, but I do a little residential realtoring on the side. But my 4th job, coming to St. Louis here in about a month and a half, I am bringing Capriotti's Sandwich Shop to St. Louis.
How about that? Now, people who know Capriotti's love it, but there are people who don't know about Capriotti's.
Yes.
How did you get involved with Capriotti's? Why Capriotti's and not something else?
I was out in Vegas almost 20 years ago at the helicopter convention, and I went to their first store in Las Vegas off of Sahara Boulevard. And ever since then, I've gone to, every time I'm in Vegas for the helicopter convention or the SHOT Show or whatever it is, I've stopped at Capriotti's, and I've watched them grow across the country, and I've got to meet some of the franchisees, and I always thought, boy, it would be cool to have one of these in St. Louis. Well, finally happened.
That sounds like a lot of work. By the way, Andrew Bailey, Missouri's Attorney General, will be joining us in just under 15 minutes. So we were trying to jump you in before. Andrew, you're the
I'll warm up. I'll warm up for him.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm going to stick around and listen to that.
So as an entrepreneur, are you now learning how to make sandwiches?
I did. I had to go out to Las Vegas. They wanted me to come out there for 3 weeks. We bargained that down to, I think, 10 days, a 5 plus 5. I told him, I said, I got 4 kids. I can't go somewhere for 3 weeks.
Yeah, that'd be a long time.
I can't take a vacation more than 4 or 5 days. So we narrowed that down to 2 weeks, 1 week segments out there. And I worked in the sandwich shop, the busiest one in the system, and learned how to make them all, worked the register, packed the orders, did catering orders, delivered stuff. I got my butt handed to me out there. It was a lot of work.
Well, the food looks pretty good. Joe, if you have an opportunity, you might be able to pop it up. It's Capriotti's, CAPRIO, Capri, and then oddies.com. I see I'm assuming this is the same sandwich shop,
yes,
because it's the red, white, and black colors that people know from around the country. I did have Capriotti's once before. It is damn good. It just, I'd never seen it in the Midwest anywhere.
Yeah, there's, I know the guy that started the ones over in Indianapolis. He was a mortgage broker. So I got to know him kind of being in the same business, and when he sold out from there. And then there's a couple in Chicago. Jill and I were at the one in downtown Chicago right by the Sears Tower a couple weekends ago. Went out to Kansas City. There's a couple out there. But no one done it in St. Louis yet, so I'm bringing it there. So the location will be 9532 Manchester, which is right next door to the Hangar Bar and Grill. What is it? Growler Works is in that same...
Growler is.
Same area. Same complex. Katie's Pizza. There's RSI Cabinets is down there. Ferrado's is across the street. So we're in a real good spot, right?
That's a heavy traffic
Market
area.
and McKnight.
That's good.
Yeah, so we're looking at probably around February 1st to open that. It's the build out is, it takes longer than expected. More money, of course, but it'll be pretty awesome. The general manager that I hired, he's coming back from Las Vegas from his 2 weeks. He'll be back tomorrow, and then we're going to start scaling up and hiring as soon as possible.
So where are the other locations and how many total?
System wide, I think there's 140 some odd locations, of which
what are you're going to be bringing in?
Minimum 3.
So
all in the St. Louis area?
Correct. Yes.
Very
yeah.
good.
So I've got
Rock Hill.
the St. Louis area. Yes. Rock Hill will be the first one, and then we'll go from there.
Very good.
You just don't know about the other 2 locations yet, because I guarantee our audience, they'll be like, where are they going to be?
Yeah. How about the start making suggestions? The tough part is the real estate. I mean, I signed this agreement over 2 years ago to do this, and it took us a long time to get the real estate found and secured. And I'm in the real estate market, so it was tough to do that. There's not a lot of good places for these sandwich shops and other small,
really?
1,500 to 1,800 square feet. It's not out there. There's plenty of Hardee's and other Arby's and other places like that have gone out of business that are standalones that are, 2,500 to 3,000 feet. But the smaller spots for places like this, where it's primarily takeout and catering orders, they're just not there anymore.
Some suggestions already
is
Westport and Swing Haven.
Yeah. Westport, definitely. Yeah. That's something we've got a pin in the map for Westport. Definitely.
That's booming.
Yeah.
Westport's booming.
Yes.
Yeah, it is right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had no idea. And then of course, Swing Haven, and Fenton. Somebody said the shot getting out south.
Yeah. Fenton. Yeah. I'd personally like one in Eureka, because that's where I live.
I personally would like one in St. Charles County. But,
I figured the St. Charles County would be brought up at some point in time. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So that's the plan, at least. But
when does your season with Rockwood Charcoal pick back up again?
It'll start right now. It'll stay busy through the end of the year, and then January, February is kind of dead. And then by the time we hit that first warm weekend in March, it's booming again, and it'll go strong through the rest of the year.
That's great.
With the exception, the dead time for charcoal, believe it or not, is July.
I remember you saying that before.
July is the worst month in the year, because everybody's done cooking, everybody's hot out, the mosquitoes are out, people go on vacation a lot, and I go on vacation, so it's that's the month I try to get everything caught back up or rest a little bit. Yeah, but July is always the worst month of the year for charcoal.
Well, Jonathan Heslop with his Capriati's chain coming. When do you think that first store will be done by?
We're hoping to open January 29th.
Okay.
It was 15th. We moved back 2 weeks, so hopefully the 29th.
That's coming up, man. That's great.
Yeah, the build out, the walls are up, the paint's up, the floors are done. They're going to start putting in equipment next week. But the thing that we'll be working the hardest on is hiring. We've got to hire 25 people and for the store, and it's that's going to be the tough part. So for those of you listening, any help that you've got, anybody that you know that's looking for a job, keep an eye out first of the year on all the job sites for coming to work at Capriati's.
All right, we can put that back up as well. And then, of course, you can be looking for Rockwood Charcoal as well as you get ready to start barbecuing again. If you're now doing it, great. If you're moving forward to that point, Jonathan will be doing that as well.
Absolutely.
You want to stick around with us until we get Andrew Bailey coming on here?
Absolutely, yeah.
Hey, you probably could ask him some good questions, too.
Well, I was curious. I mean, here's one I wanted to get to, because we didn't get a chance to get to it yesterday. Yeah. And you're a sports fan, too. But LeBron James, he really pissed me off 2 days ago, and it started to go viral. We'll show you what happened with this video. LeBron James walked into a basketball game at Southern Cal, USC, and he didn't even acknowledge the national anthem. He just sat down while everybody else is standing up. Check it out.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
Okay, so you saw LeBron sit down and do nothing with his daughter. And there's so much bad about that. And I'm sorry, I'm not about... Don't go looking for problems in life. Don't go looking to try to stir up shit. Just go about yourself. But my God, the national anthem is going on, and he just walks in as if he's king, like literally a king.
With his hat on.
With his hat on and his daughter in his hand. What kind of message is that sending? And yes, shame on you, LeBron. You're better than that.
No, he isn't. He's not better than that. He thinks he's
right.
more important than the whole nation.
He's got this country to thank for his success.
Absolutely.
Yes. Capitalism and everything.
And in regards to that, well said. How about Colby Covington, a UFC guy? He has been all over LeBron for years. Colby's not a real big guy, but just listen to what Colby had to say, because Colby's been calling LeBron out and saying, you want to talk man-to-man? Let's talk man-to-man. Now, it's part of his UFC shtick, but at the same point in time, Kobe gets real. And when he watched LeBron do this a few nights ago, he had some words for LeBron as well.
If you hate America so much and you don't like this country that gave you $1 billion, leave it or come deal with me. You go to China, go to these sweatshops that you employ all these laborers and use these women and pay them pennies on the dollar to make your millions. Fuck you, LeBron James. You're a coward. You're a spineless coward, and you're a bitch.
You're a bitch, LeBron. You're a bitch.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, Kobe's calling him out. That's for sure. But there's so many people who are afraid to call out un-American stars like LeBron. Oh, we're worried about being canceled. LeBron has made the money, yes, with a lot of hard work and God-given talent. And he just walks around. And this isn't the first instance with LeBron showing that he doesn't care about America. It's not the first time. He's been rumored to be in a bunch of stuff that's not good. I won't even get into it now. But the fact is that he doesn't show a love of America. And he had made a ton of money siding with China, communist China, on a bunch of issues as well. So I have no problem with Colby Covington calling out LeBron James.
Yeah, he is. And Sneaky Nuggets is saying he can't stand that baby. He's a crybaby, and he thinks that he's better than anyone else in America. I mean, how dare him walk in like that, like he owns the joint, and then goes and sits down. And it's just so rude. It's so rude. It shows his character.
I was at the Blues game the other night and, do the anthem there. And then they have always the dedication for one of the service members there. And it also happened to be, I beat the cancer knot. It escapes me what they call that evening, but it's
We're at the Blues game?
At the Blues game.
Okay.
So they honored a lot of people that came up and rang the bell. And I mean, everybody got up and stand and applauded during those two different things where they honor the service member. And I, if you did something like that at the Blues game or in St. Louis, I'm pretty sure you get your ass kicked right then and there.
I agree with you.
Yeah, and rightly so.
Yeah.
Man, I just wanted to get that in and get your take from that standpoint as well, because as Donna says, USA did make him.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it, 100%.
Absolutely.
And Jonathan, we're grateful for you jumping in today and hopping in with us from that standpoint. You getting ramped up for a election season, even though it's under a year away?
Yeah, it's going to be wild, and it's going to be a fun one, this one. There's going to be a lot of curveballs coming here, I imagine.
You know what? That's what we've been saying.
I agree.
We think that we're going to see a lot of curveballs as well.
Yeah, they don't have a sickness to rely on swaying the election this year, so it's going to be
not yet.
Yeah.
They're going to try.
They're going to try
so
something.
Many people woke up.
That's what Lizzie thinks is going to happen. She thinks that those things are going to come down from a standpoint at one point in time.
Yeah, I think they're going to push people into it again, but people are going to stand up.
People are going to stand up. And I was thinking about that as I was coming in and talking about that party when we were there. What a great time. And thanks to Ben for putting together
our
Wendy's.
Year celebration.
Yes, what a great time. And just to think 3 years ago, or even 2 years ago, we wouldn't have been allowed to do that. We would have been relegated to our homes and not being able to talk to each other in person. So what a great time, and just so thankful that for everybody that showed up there and our ability to do that again.
Well, Jonathan, we hooked him up with Paige Beasley from WeQuip, and
what a great story! What a great company!
And she's young and she's super smart.
Yes, she is.
What better gift for her, Jonathan? You're like a stocking stuffer.
Yeah,
I've already talked and introduced her to Entrepreneurs Organization, an organization that's very dear to my heart and helped me through some tough times with my companies and things like that. It's going to be a great asset for her, a great place to grow her, scale her business.
Well, you've busted your butt. You've grown up in the St. Louis area. You've put your money towards great causes. You've put your money towards conservative causes. You're out and about. Not only do you talk the talk, you walk the walk. And of course, we appreciate your partnership with canceltheshow.com. And we remind everybody, Rockwood Charcoal, number one, going on 10 straight years nationally. And it's because you know what you're doing and you bust your ass while you're doing it. And also your new brand of sandwich shops, Capriati's, coming to the St. Louis metropolitan area.
It's going to be good.
Hey, buddy, we appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in with us today. We'll keep in contact with you.
So good to see you. Merry Christmas, everybody, and God bless. And let's have a kick-ass 2024.
Sounds good, my friend. We'll see you next time, Jonathan. It's always nice to get a surprise visit from Jonathan. I appreciate that very much.
I love his voice. You have such a good on-air
Well, that's why
voice.
we have him come in.
I
When he
know, I
comes in
love
and
it.
does it, and a lot of good thoughts in our brain to go
Yeah.
with it. This is cancelthisshow.com. I'm Vic Faust with Lizzie Sparks and Projo in the house. Jonathan Heslop. We'll see you later, my friend. Thank you so much for the support. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central, and of course, all the time on our website, cancelthisshow.com. We've been packed. We told you the horrors of water and what's actually happening with bottled water, tap water in the first hour with Nelson McIlveen from Century Water. Glad to see that his product now is at Arizona State Sun Devil Stadium.
Yeah, that's great.
When you start to see what we have, Jonathan Heslop jumped in. And of course, now we change over to our good friend, Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. We love to have fun with you, Andrew, and you seem like you love coming on the show. Yes, we talk serious topics, but we also talk fun as well. I wanted to start with you this morning, if it's all right, with your Media Matters situation. I mean, just listen, I know you don't talk about yourself. We're going to prop you up a little bit.
For sure.
You have done an amazing job, number one, in the office from a meat and potatoes standpoint, but you get the aspect of why media is so important and the messaging and how it's out there and how it can relate to people. And I love to see that you partnered with Tucker Carlson just a few nights ago and Benny Johnson and others. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure to see you guys, get to spend some time with you. Look, I believe in the First Amendment. I believe in the right to free speech as a foundational principle upon which our republic is founded. And so that's what this fight is all about. We're going to protect Missourians from being defrauded in a coordinated, manipulative attack on the First Amendment. What Media Matters has done here, the allegation is that they have solicited contributions from Missourians and then converted that money into, a coordinated attack to manipulate algorithms on X in order to juxtapose controversial speech next to images of advertisers in order to bully those advertisers into pulling out of X. X is the last platform dedicated to free speech in America, and this represents a new front in the war for free speech. Again, we've uncovered government censorship on big tech social media and taken the government to task in the case of Missouri v. Biden that we're winning and taking all the way to the United States Supreme Court. But now what radical progressive tyrants want to do is use a corporate pressure campaign in order to lie, cheat, and steal and shut down the last platform dedicated to free speech. And we're not going to let them defraud Missourians in that process.
Where does it stand right now? Talk with Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey. And what kind of time do you think this is going to take to ultimately win that situation?
Well, we've demanded certain records be retained by Media Matters. And again, let me say this. Media Matters is built on lies. This is a 501c3 organization. It's a radical, progressive, tyrannical advocacy group masquerading as a news outlet. They are not. No one should believe that. But we've demanded that they retain certain records related to their market manipulation and bullying of the advertisers on X. And we're going to demand those documents and look at them and review them to determine what happened here and how many Missourians were affected. And if they were defrauded, if the solicitations were under false pretenses, that can violate state statute. But I would also point out, look, we have laws in this nation to prohibit conspiracies to form combinations and restraint of trade. So why would a 501c3 not-for-profit be manipulating the big tech marketplace? What possible motive would they have? And who were they coordinating and conspiring with? And again, that's why this investigation is so important, and we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Are there two Andrew Baileys running around? Because you're all over the damn place. We see you all over podcasts, national shows. Lizzie's daughter speaks very highly of you. We'll let her remind you who her daughter is in just a second. And we've been told that there's, two versions of certain politicians and people out there. I don't know how the hell you're doing it, Andrew.
We stay busy. I drink a lot of coffee, so that's really helps me keep fueled up. But look, I've got 4 small children. Missouri's home. I want Missouri to be the safest state in the nation for children, and I want to pass on to my kids a legacy of freedom, of safety, and of prosperity. That's what motivates me every day. That's why I do this job, and I think being able to pass on that legacy of freedom, safety, and prosperity, and protect it from enemy attack and hand that off to the next generation is really, really critical.
Well, and you're doing everything that you're saying you're doing, and some politicians don't. My daughter, Heather Hicks, is a prosecutor in your office, and she just says, you are a badass. You do what you say. You work very hard. You're very, tangible, that if somebody needs to get a hold of you, you come in and
he's there. He's present.
That you're there. She was telling Vic this the other night, how great you really are. So everybody thinks you're great, that I know anyway. And she even says, and she knows because she works in your office in St. Louis, and she says, you are just fighting so hard for the state of Missouri.
Well, I appreciate Heather's hard work. She's one of our stars here at the Attorney General's office, and what great work she does prosecuting wrongdoers and keeping the bad guys off the streets so we can have safer streets and prosperous communities. But I'll tell you, we are at a really critical juncture in our nation's history. And you all know that as well as I do. I mean, the rest of us spent the last 20 years, going to work, raising our families and being good Americans while the left was infiltrating so many of our institutions. And again, it used to be a symmetrical warfare in the halls of Congress and the halls of the General Assembly for good policy versus bad policy. But now, and I think Media Matters is really the touch point of this, now we see that the enemy has infiltrated the private sector and is using deceptive ways to use advocacy groups disguised as not-for-profits to apply corporate pressure campaigns to destroy our country. And we can't let that happen.
Well, that's just one of the situations that we feel, when it gets to the point of tearing apart the fabric of America and our morals, which leads us into another topic that we have to ask you about, and it's WashU. And we're reminding people what happened with WashU when they were literally promoting and advocating for kids and sex changes and all kinds of reassignment surgery. And you came out of the gate, you challenged them. They have not lived up to what they were supposed to do. Can you give us a rundown of what has happened and where you're going to take this now? Because from all the reports that I have read, they're not turning over documents that they should be.
Yeah, that's right. Just by way of, historical, the history of the issue, after less than 60 days in office, I had received a whistleblower complaint from a individual that used to work at a transgender clinic there in St. Louis that made very specific and credible allegations that are nothing short of child abuse if true. And this woman was willing to come and put her name on the dotted line and undergo, scrutiny for having done that and subject herself to the penalty of perjury. And so we had to take that seriously. We launched an investigation. We called for a moratorium. The clinic refused, saying that they were the only clinic in the state doing these kinds of procedures. And when I talk about these procedures, what I'm talking about is small children who are confused about their gender or just need to talk to someone. They need psychology or psychiatry. And instead, what the clinic was doing was administering powerful, dangerous drugs, life-altering drugs, puberty blockers, and cross-sex hormones that change the human bodies in ways unimaginable. Or referring kids for irreversible gender reassignment surgeries where doctors were cutting off body parts, and the kids can never then enjoy the full spectrum of adulthood. And so this negatively impacts children. The clinic said they were the only ones doing it in the state of Missouri. That wasn't true. There was a shadowy and clandestine network of these clinics, this assembly line of child sterilization across the state of Missouri. We promulgated an emergency rule to try to put a stop to it, stood in the gap, allowed the General Assembly time to pass a statute. The ACLU immediately sued to put a stop to the statute. Missouri, my office successfully defended that statute in court, Senate Bill 49, that ended child sterilization in Missouri. We're the first state in the nation to have done that. We have led on this issue. Again, I want Missouri to be the safest state in the nation for children. But that just because we successfully defended the statute and put an end to child sterilization doesn't mean we let up on our investigation. The clinic has agreed to turn over certain documents and then has now said, no, actually, we changed our mind. We're not turning over the documents. Well, those documents are critical to putting texture on what went wrong here and what systems need to be put in place to prevent it from ever happening again and for holding wrongdoers accountable. And I would hope that the clinic would see the value in transparency on this issue. Clearly, they don't. And we have reason to believe it's because Joe Biden's federal government has stepped in and started a whisper campaign to dissuade the clinic from cooperating with the state investigation. So we're fighting back in court.
What kind of power do you have from that standpoint, from a legal avenue, to get those documents?
Well, we believe we're entitled to those documents under the law, and we're not going to stop until we have them. Again, the state has certain authority under state statute, and specifically the Attorney General's office has authority under state statute. So we're going to use those statutes to hold wrongdoers accountable and make Missouri the safest state in the nation for children. And we're not going to let Joe Biden and his army of federal bureaucrats stand in our way.
I'm just curious from the standpoint, we've got a couple other questions. Could you take a couple? Is that cool right now? Maybe from our viewers and listeners, they love it when you come on. Somebody said, do you think that Congress is manipulating the markets in any way, interest rates, et cetera, in order to maybe deceive the public that everything's okay in an election year?
Yeah, well, we know that Joe Biden and the left will buy votes. I mean, at the end of the day, when they're manipulating the marketplace or artificially driving down the price of gas at the pumps to trick people into thinking that things are in a good condition. But here in Missouri, we know better. This is the show me state. Results mattered. And working families across Missouri know how much they're paying for milk at the grocery store and eggs at the grocery store, or gas at the pump, back to school supplies back in September. These costs are through the roof. And so Missourians have less dollars in their pocket pocket because Joe Biden has attacked working families by driving inflation through the roof. And so we're not going to be fooled by these manipulations.
One question I personally had too, and it's something that's near and dear to our hearts on this show and that we have done, and we really focus a lot on the illegal immigration that's coming into this country. We see it in Missouri, not as much as you see it in other southern states or other states around. I mean, I know, we see it, but not like the videos that we see yet in the South. What can you do as an attorney general to help stop some of those things that are going on here in the state at the same point in time where you're trying to show that you have a heart at the same time, but yet, like, listen, I have a heart, but we have got to stand on law at the same point in time because there is something good about law and order.
Well, let me speak broadly and then kind of narrow down and hone in on that point in particular. But let me say this to start, to frame the issue. There are 3 strategic objectives critical to the saving our nation right now. The first is free speech. And again, the Media Matters issue touches and concerns free speech. The case Missouri v. Biden, putting a stop to government censorship on big tech concerns free speech. If we can't say, think, and hear what we please, we will cease to have a democratic republic and America will cease to exist. So that fight is critical. The second is putting a stop to the weaponization of government. We see America slouching towards a banana republic where Biden and his cronies at the state level in blue states will weaponize the criminal justice system to go after political opponents. That undermines the rule of law, and we all suffer for that. And the third is the border. Look, no border, no country. If we don't enforce the rules at the border and allow this invasion to continue, America will cease to exist. And so no other country in the world behaves this way and just flings open the door. Certainly our northern border with Canada isn't like that. And so it's critical that state attorneys general hold Biden responsible. He took an oath to faithfully execute the laws. That includes immigration laws that he might not agree with, but they have to be enforced. We have 2 lawsuits pending right now against the Biden administration to end the catch and release policy at the border and also to force him to continue building the border wall that Congress has already appropriated money for. And so we're going to keep that fight up. We're not going to allow President Biden to destroy the United States of America by allowing this invasion to continue. And you're right. Look, every state's a border state at this point because Biden has allowed so many people in illegally. Yes. And you may not be feeling it in Missouri communities today, but I guarantee our communities are less safe because of the fentanyl and the human trafficking. And Biden is not aiding humanitarian efforts by turning control of the border over to the cartels. And we'll all be feeling it soon.
Boy, speaking of Biden, did you see Hunter talking yesterday? Who does he think he is? He can just avoid a subpoena just like that. And, a couple of years ago, Joe Biden was ripping and saying we have to go after J6ers who are refusing to show up despite being subpoenaed. This whole thing, it just looks like theater to me, and it frustrates the hell out of me.
It's a clown show. And you're right. The left is completely hypocritical on this issue. You've got AOC in the halls of Congress saying, well, Hunter Biden did comply with the subpoena. He showed up. Well, a drive-by press conference on the steps of the Capitol. It's not compliance with a subpoena. A subpoena demands that you show up and give testimony that the other side gets to cross-examine. Republicans have a right under the law to cross-examine Hunter Biden about his business dealings and criminal behavior. And so he needs to stand up and fulfill his legal obligations under that subpoena because he sure didn't do it yesterday.
Damn.
He didn't. And his voice, I mean, this sounds so catty, but he sounds just like his dad, both in tone.
He's putting together some sentences though.
Well, okay, then maybe the young Joe Biden.
He knows who the president is.
Yeah.
He knows that Donald Trump isn't in Congress, unlike his dad, when he goes from that standpoint. It's good to see you too. Here's the other thing I love about you. I'll say it, you're a man among the people. You're out and about. You're not afraid to take pictures with people, or at least you're not telling them. We saw you out with one of our friends, Rick Pogue. People around Missouri
that was great.
Who are trying to do good things around the state as well. And I just love to see you out and about because you are who you are. And if you're a liberal listening, Vic's kissing his ass again, blah blah blah. No, but it's
the truth.
There's something about being real and being amongst the people, right?
Hey man, I'm a Missouri kid, grew up here, raising a family here. I have no desire to be a politician. I want to be the attorney general because I believe in the work we're doing. And I realize you got to be a politician to be the attorney general. But I'm lucky to have friends like Rick Pogue and others like yourself across this state. And I love getting out and talking to people. It gives me a lot of energy to understand that we have shared values here in Missouri and that we're all in this fight together for freedom, for safety, and prosperity. And that gives me a lot of energy to go to work every day for the people of the state of Missouri.
Yes. Andrew is married. We've got, there are people here who love Love everything about you, Andrew. So we'll leave it right there then, man. Hey, thanks again for the time. We appreciate it when you jump in with us each month. And we'll continue to get your word out there. And Maddie does a terrific job keeping us posted about what you're trying to go after. And of course, we see it from a media standpoint. The lawsuits that are taking place, and the WashU one is just really pissing me off big time with what's happening there, and especially when kids are involved. So thanks again for your time, Attorney General.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for having me on. Talk soon.
Merry Christmas. Talk to you later. Andrew Bailey, lots of fans. And from the moment he's come in, you can try to break down stuff and rip people and do whatever you want. There's just nothing to rip right now. There just isn't.
There isn't. And
the man has done an amazing job since he started.
Yeah. And Jeannie's saying you embarrassed him a little bit because he really is a humble guy. And you were, giving him a compliment.
I was trying to.
Yeah. But it's the truth.
If you're listening, sorry, Andrew.
And he is, if he's still listening, and he is a very nice looking person. There really isn't anything.
Merry Christmas, you badass.
That's
coming
right.
From Jeannie from the text line.
Yep. We know personally that he is, and he's doing what he says. And that's hard to find. Any person that has been elected or put in a position that you have to be a politician, that you don't look schmaltzy.
Well, he's been back. He was on Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
On Benny Johnson. It's not just us in Missouri. We recognized it quickly and got him on quickly and started to focus on some of the things that he's trying to do in the state.
Correct.
But national people recognize quickly, like, oh crap, this guy he's legit. He's not just talking it.
Correct.
And of course, Eric, hold on a second. There
and he hit the ground running. Literally he started and boom, he hit the ground
Eric
running.
Schmidt started it.
Correct.
Eric Schmidt, we came in like, wow, who is this attorney general who is taking care of Missouri? And of course, it catapulted him into the U.S. Senate. Eric set the stage, and then people were worried. Holy crap, those are big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
Andrew Bailey comes right in and says, hey, no problem. I'll take the ball. I'll take the torch. I'll continue to run with it and watch what happens in the state of Missouri. And we know what's going to happen, as Jerry says. Yeah, Lizzie, he's got balls.
Yeah, he does have balls. Our attorney general has balls. And he took the ball and ran with it. So there you go.
So, I just don't see talking a good game. I see him walking the good game as well, which is great for Missourians here as much as you possibly can, because we know a lot of times politicians and elected leaders, you're limited by what you can do because there's checks and balances. There are certain things you can and can't do. And then, of course, anytime you get into court of law, there's all sorts of legal challenges and time that can make things go on and on and on and on and on.
Correct.
But anyway, we're grateful for the time that he jumped in with us. Man, we've been rocking and rolling today. There's so much that has been put into place here. I'm trying to think, I'm going to produce on the go because we've still got something. Before we get into other major topics, I just wanted to remind, I was sent this video, President Trump, when he was the president, talking about the border. And I think it's apropos to put in right now with Chuck Schumer. I remember this. And as this video was labeled, back when America had a backbone, Donald Trump explaining to Chuck Schumer why the border was so important. And now we have a president who slides across stage and shuffles. And this is when America had a backbone.
Okay, you want to put that on my... You said it. I'll take it. Okay, good. You know what I'll say? Yes. If we don't get what we want, one way or the other, whether it's through you, through a military, through anything you want to call, I will shut down the government.
Okay,
absolutely.
fair enough.
And I am proud, and I'll tell you what, I am proud to shut down the government for border security, Chuck, because the people of this country don't want criminals and people that have lots of problems and drugs pouring into our country.
Man.
That
2024.
Correct. And we don't have any of that. And Chuck Schumer, anybody that knows him, that guy is such a slimy dude. And he cares way more for keeping the government open because that's what they want to do. President Trump doesn't even care about that. He wants to keep us safe and prosperous.
It just goes to show what we had.
Yeah.
You compare that to what we have now. And once again, with his lying, his misunderstanding, he doesn't even understand what's going on with Hunter right now. He really doesn't. He has no idea. He's like, my boy didn't do anything wrong. And then, of course, obviously, we see what's happening with Hunter and the show that he put on yesterday, the clown show, as Andrew Bailey just referred to it as a few minutes ago. It's just a reminder of what we can have in this country. And if we don't get it back, shame on us for not doing enough to try to make those things happen.
Correct.
To getting the word out. But we'll see when it comes to voting. I mean,
there's zero way we don't have President Trump. And we say this so much unless there's election fraud. So we have to get out in droves so that so many votes that they can't cheat us. I mean, we have to do it.
Hey, before we get out, I'm sorry. What was our graphic today?
I know what it is.
What?
And okay. So this weekend, when you go to a party.
Okay, it was. I wanted to make sure. Oh, that Hunter plays Houdini. Oh, yeah, we were talking about Hunter a little bit.
Yeah, we already talked about
But we need
Hunter.
to get this other topic in today.
We do.
Because tomorrow's Free for All Friday and we may not have a chance.
We won't get to it. So
Okay.
if any of you want to go to a party this weekend, don't go to Boston. Don't go there.
Well, depending on the color of your skin.
Well, if you're white, don't go there. If you're Asian, you can go there. I've got, a multicultural family and half of us can't go, but I could send my Asian kids. And
I wonder, if you showed up, you're whites, you're blacks, you're Asians.
Yeah.
Lizzie, who would get in?
I guess the whites don't, because the Boston mayor, had a holiday party that if you were white, and she doubled down on that you can't come to her holiday party if you have white skin. And that's just indicative of what we keep saying on the show, even down to.
She defended this.
She did. I mean, she's part of the pro-Hamas BLM type group.
Her name's Michelle Wu. How she got elected, there's no way in hell in Boston she gets elected again. No freaking way in hell.
Sure?
Or unless they own the voting mail-in right situation. No freaking way in Boston. I know people from Boston.
But
there's no way
town.
in hell that they hear white people can't come to a holiday party, and they would no way.
A lot of them are white liberals, though, and they don't seem to have a problem with that. They don't care with their little
Maybe
white
they don't.
guilt. I don't
the
think
white
they
liberals
do.
I know from Boston are not that way.
Well, that's good to hear. So, you know what? Tell your white liberal Boston friends to call the mayor and say, we would like a party. Now, she agrees to having an all-white party. So you could have an all-white party there. She likes segregation. That's really clear. She doubled down on it. And she made no excuses as to why the white people couldn't come.
She said that the invite was not meant to be sent to white council members,
of course,
who had their invitations rescinded about 15 minutes after the original email was sent.
That is worse than just not being invited.
The mayor.
Yeah.
The freaking mayor of Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh.
We had individual conversations with everyone, so people understand that it was truly just an honest mistake that went out in typing the email field. Michelle Wu, I'm sure your parents are so proud of you right now for being inclusive for everybody. Basically, what that is she's a racist.
She is a racist.
And you have to call it out. It doesn't matter if you're Asian, Black, Hispanic, white, whatever. Yes, you can be racist. You can call yourself a minority, and yes, you're still racist. You can be a racist woman. You can be a racist man. It doesn't matter your sex. It doesn't matter your ethnicity. As your son-in-law was asked. You can be a racist. Michelle Wu, you are a racist.
She totally is.
And you did it. You own it. Now you have to wear it. And there is no way in hell you will be reelected. I don't know if you wanted to be reelected or not. I don't know when the election is again or not, but you will not be reelected. And if you are, shame on Boston. We will lose a lot of respect for Boston if they do.
Absolutely. And it's not an honest mistake.
Or any respect.
That she did this. The mistake she's saying, so she's still not apologizing. Like you said,
she's Bud Lighting the situation.
She is.
Just apologize. Listen, you messed up. Admit it. Move on.
She's just only upset that the white people accidentally got invitations.
Yeah, I know.
She still doesn't care that she doesn't want white people there. I mean, that says a lot about her. A lot about her. It is ridiculous.
She sent out Dos Santos, a person who is her aide, to say, I want to apologize for my previous email regarding a holiday party. I did send that to everyone by accident, and I apologize if my email may have offended or come across as so. Sorry for any confusion that it may have caused. Oh my God. Yeah, you want to talk about unfortunate and divisive? You did it very well. It is interesting because a black city councilor, Brian Worrell, defended the invitation, suggesting the holiday party was merely a way to represent all kinds of special groups in the Boston.
Wait, because white people aren't special anymore. I mean, to hear that,
Brian
that's
Worrell,
another insult.
You are a racist.
Yes. If
and
you're
just
white,
because you're black, it does not mean, yes, you can be black and be a racist. I have talked with several black people who say, yes, you can be a racist and be black. And I didn't even need their validation for that. You can be black and be a racist. And if you're a racist, I am hitting it right in the spot with you right now.
Absolutely.
Brian, you're a racist. There's no need for that. Where is inclusivity, ethnicity not being a factor in anything? Oh my
gosh. Well, and you know what Troy is saying? Her skin
was having
really
a good day.
White.
It was
looked
fun.
really white. And you know what Gary's saying? He would have still gone. And Gary's
Ethnicity.
white. You know what? That's what should happen. We should call up the people in Boston and say, all white people show up at our office and demand a party. Just say, I want my basic white bitch coffee. Give it to me. Like
Todd says, I think Sam Adams will be coming to an end soon.
That is crazy.
Yeah, Donna says so many are mixed but claim black. I know it's another situation that thank God Sage Steele, former ESPN anchor, brought that to light with Obama.
Yeah,
when she was, you're not black, you're not white, you're biracial.
Yes,
you can't claim one over the other and disservice your parent.
But if you are a person that signs like a college application or a work application, they ask for your ethnicity. And so if
it's our
black,
government's fault. You have to put black.
It is. So you have to put black. But I know we have biracial people in our family and they honor both sides.
Yeah. Well, anybody with a heart does that. Anybody who's not racist does that.
Yeah.
You have to be factual. Once again, I can call myself a doctor. That doesn't mean I'm a doctor. But if I want to identify as a black person when I have white in me, fine. Nobody's going to stop you, but it doesn't mean you're being truthful.
I'm going to the bank after this and I'm going to go and withdraw $1 billion because I identify as $1 billion.
You identify as a billionaire.
I do. And I'm assuming they won't give it to me because I'm white and not a billionaire.
Well, but the banks only have about $1,000 in cash there anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say I identify.
Our banks, by the way, our bank, that's a whole other deal. Our banks don't have any money. If you didn't know already, they don't have cash on hand. It's all out in the air. It's all out in space. This is cancelthisshow.com. We've had a terrific show. I'll give Kelly Mano a call. I don't know. She came in for 2 straight weeks. I know she was every other week, so I'll call her and see if she's coming in tomorrow. Eric will be in. Eric Johnson for our Friday Free for All show. I've been so damn busy this week. I haven't looked ahead to it yet, so I don't know if anybody has any ideas. We do have Bob Onder at 8:10 tomorrow, which isn't part of the free for all aspect of it, but he's running for lieutenant governor again, and he's been making his way around. We couldn't get him in earlier in the other week. He's done some interviews. We just didn't have time, but we have time for tomorrow. So at 8:10, Bob Onder, why he's running for lieutenant governor in the state of Missouri.
And that's interesting how many people he's running against. So that would be a good question to ask him. He's running with a whole posse of other people that he has to beat.
And we do need to do the Kelly Mano dating game.
Yes, we do. We do. That's coming up.
There's we'll have to, there's a couple question marks we got to figure out first.
Yeah, but we can figure it out.
Kelly Mano dating game.
Me and Greg Greg and I are already working on all the props and everything.
That's good. You and Greg need to spend a whole lot more time together. That is awesome. I think that's a great idea.
He's definitely very creative when it comes to stuff like this, and very resourced too. He's got screens and stuff that we can use. So yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, we appreciate your support. Remember, canceltheshow.com. If you go to our website, you can also go to our merch page. We have hats. We have really cool hats and shirts. We have Coolies and Stanleys and all kinds of different mugs. We also have the Cancel This coffee. It's there for you as well. You can jump in and do that. We appreciate donations as well at canceltheshow.com. You click on the donate button. We're grateful for all of it. And thank you for joining us for episode, what was it, 269? Episode 269.
So tomorrow's a free-for-all Friday and 270. That must be some good omen for some reason.
All right.
There you go.
I'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
I like those theta brain waves. We'll get into that at some point too.
I like that too.
So we'll say goodbye today. Thanks for joining us. For Projo and Lizzie Sparks, I'm Vic Faust. Guys, thanks for listening and watching. Have an awesome day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.